Bringing people and communities together on seclosounds.org.
Your listening station.
Hi, I'm Terry Sullivan and welcome to this week's Sticks radio show here on Seclo Sounds. My guest today is a lady called Carol Hanson. She's the person behind the website Want That Dress. She's going to talk to us about fashion, about her website in a few minutes, but I had to play this one really. This is David Bowie and this is Fashion. My guest today on the show is Carol Hanson. She's the lady behind Want Her Dress. How you doing, Carol?
I'm great, thank you very much, Terry.
Tell
Great to be on the show.
That's all right, no problem. Tell us a little bit about yourself. You're a local lady.
Yeah, I am. I was actually born in Hitchin, brought up in Stevenage, and moved back to Hitchin in 1981 when I got married.
Somebody has to. No,
I love the town.
It's a lovely place. You've got sort of, I mean, tell everybody about your business.
The business is a web business. It's an online retailer. It's a fashion website, mainly for, well, it's for ladies, but it's mainly for the 18 to 30 age group. and it's aiming really at women who like to follow fashion but like to put their own flair and individuality into fashion. So not necessarily just going out there and buying what's in because it's in, but actually adding their own flair and style to their outfits.
So are your products one-offs or?
No, they're not one-offs, but they're not the type of thing that you would see on the high street.
Okay, so before, obviously you've just started this business a little while ago. What have you been doing since before that?
Most recently I've been working in the video game sector, which is a really exciting sector to work in. Very fast growing, has been very fast growing for a number of years. I was lucky enough when I started in that sector to be working for Robert Stein. Now, Robert Stein is known in the video games industry because he was the guy that brought Tetris over to Europe, or over to the West. It was actually a program originally that was developed to train Russian astronauts before it was made into a video game.
Really?
And he got the rights to that and brought it in as a video, worked with some programmers and developers to bring it in as a video game.
So that must have been, early 80s then, Tetris?
Yeah. I wasn't working with him then. But
I remember that. I mean, that was one of the first there was that and Pac-Man and a few other ones.
Well, Tetris is still going now.
I know,
it's still one of the most popular games, and so many games are designed on the concept of Tetris as well.
It's great hand and eye coordination,
yes,
which I don't have, or mouth coordination. They're terrible. So I mean, that must have been good. So what inspired you to jump from the video game business to the fashion business?
I've always had a passion for fashion. I know that sounds really corny, but when I left college, I wanted to get into retail buying, but that was at the end of the 70s when we were going through the oil crisis, and jobs were pretty hard to come by, and it was one of those catch-22s. If you didn't have experience and you couldn't get in, and where were you going to get the experience if you couldn't get into it? So I actually ended up in accountancy of all things, but I definitely determined that at one point I would return to what I really wanted to do, because I always have this thing that you've got to follow a dream, you've got to have a dream, and that's what I really wanted to do. I've always had an interest in fashion, and when the opportunity came up last year, I've run my own business before, to purchase this website that's being developed by a web development company, but on the instruction of the former owners. Yeah, great, I get in there, and I've tried to run it on a part-time basis, but soon recognised that really I was going to have to dedicate myself full-time to it to make it really work. And I'm about to start doing that now in spring 2014.
Wow, I mean that's that's quite a big jump. You must be quite sort of nervous, are you, or are you? I think you're excited more than nervous, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. I am passionate about it. I mean, I started last summer. Bear in mind that I've had no real training in e-commerce as such. But working as commercial director of the latest video games company I was working for, I've obviously got a good sense of what retail's about, and how to market product, and how to basically build a brand, which is what this is all about. And with an accountancy background as well, I know the boring bits about cash flow and how to and the fact you've got to make a profit at the end of the day.
Yeah, you don't come over as a typical accountant.
No, I'm not a typical accountant.
I've met some accountants, and perhaps hopefully they're not listening, but yeah, accountants are interesting people.
Yeah, I would say that. There's very few, I think, that have quite a sort of commercial outlook in life, and again, I might be stepping on a few toes as well, but they tend to be quite conservative people, and I'm certainly not that.
Yeah, they like their suits and ties, don't they? Yeah. A lot of them. I'm not a big suit and tie man myself, as as is probably well known, but yeah. And you sort of talk about your commercial experience. You spent a bit of time with the Ribbons of the World, which it was a huge festival based in Hitchin, and with some big names. I think Kiki D was on one year, wasn't she?
Yes, she was. That was before I was involved in it. Yeah, I got involved in it in 2007, I think was the first year. And I started off just doing some work on the committee, just being a part of the committee to see what was going on. And we ended up reorganising the trustees. Rhythms was run by a bunch of trustees, or group of trustees, I should say. And then we had a committee beneath that, but we organised ourselves into groups. And I was actually the head of the income group. So my responsibility was basically all forms of income coming into the festival. So that was whether it was ticket money, whether it was sponsorship, advertising, whether it was getting the bars organised, merchandising, which was my speciality, on top of that, where I used to run the merchandising stand for Rhythms. And yeah, it was great. Moving into the Priory was fantastic.
Yeah.
I know there was a lot of grumbles in the town about moving it out of the town, but it was a victim of its own success. And we needed to move it into a different location where we could actually start charging for people. And the reason we were charging was basically to keep improving and building on the festival. And we couldn't just keep relying on people doing stuff for nothing. And it's just very sad that, unfortunately, with the bad summers that we had, that unfortunately with Chartridge, who at that point owned Hitchin Priory, felt that they couldn't continue to support the festival because they were so dependent on wedding business, and of course when the ground got churned up, it wasn't that great for photographs.
I think the Priory's just been sold, from what I understand.
Has,
so that's sort of out of the equation now. I mean, that is a bit of a shame because it was well known. I must admit, I've never been. I'm going to hold my hands up. I live 8 miles from Hitchin, and I've never ever been. Yeah. I do know about it. I always seemed to be away on holiday when it was on, which was perhaps a good thing, really. But never mind. So yes, I mean, you know, what would you say your website is different from lots of other fashion websites?
What I'm trying to do with it is to take it in a slightly different direction, to get involved with the local community. You mentioned my involvement in Rhythms. I'm actually keen to work with music promoters, sponsorship opportunities, and help young artists who may be struggling to put together a wardrobe for performing, that kind of thing. And I'm actually in discussion at the moment with one promoter, Helen Meisner, who you may know.
I do indeed, yes, she's been on the show.
Yeah.
Lovely person.
And yeah, we're trying to put something together at the moment on that. I'm also very keen, because the fashion designers of tomorrow are the youth of today, and I know, again, that probably sounds a bit corny, but I'm very keen. Hitchin College, North Hertfordshire College, has a very strong fashion department, and I'm actually in discussion with them at the moment to talk to their fashion team about showcasing the students' work on my website. I saw an article that was published in Hitchin Comet just before Christmas that caught my eye and got me onto this one, where the students had actually been exhibiting their designs at the Clothes Show Live. Anyone doesn't know, the Clothes Show Live is a huge event each year up at the NEC in December, where it's showcasing the best of British fashion. Their catwalk show is the longest catwalk in the whole of Europe that they set up there. They had Union J were up there performing and doing the music for the catwalk shows this year. Okay. And it was their 25th year, and very proudly one or two of the students from North Hertfordshire College had their design shown there as well. So I'm very keen to sort of get involved in that kind of project, which I think does set my website apart, or adds that point of difference between myself and competition out there.
Hello, I'm Jim Cleland, and every Tuesday between 9am and 12pm on Secklow Sounds Radio, you can hear all things MK. We have local news, sport, weather, traffic and travel, and lots of music. I'll be talking to local people about fitness, health, what's going on in Milton Keynes, our diverse community, local businesses, and much more. Join me, Jim Cleland, for all things MK every Tuesday between 9am and 12pm on Secklow Sounds Radio.
They don't want your name.
They don't want my name. They don't want your name.
Just your number.
They don't want your name.
They don't want your name. They don't want your name.
They don't want your name.
They don't want your name.
Just your number. They don't want your name.
They don't want your name.
They don't want your name.
They don't want your name. They don't want your name. Just your number. Living by numbers. Living by numbers now.
MK Flyers Online, the fast and simple way to find any kind of business or service locally. Find us at mkflyersonline.co.uk or download the MK Flyers mobile app from your app store. MK Flyers Online proudly supports Seclo Sounds, community radio for Milton Keynes.
You say, is there a particular fashion designer who you admire?
Many. I tend to go more for style, to be honest, rather
Not
than
particular brand or a particular
no,
person.
exactly. I go for style and inspiration. One thing I think is that Victoria Beckham, I think she's done a marvellous job with the way that she's built up her brand. And
Well, having a famous husband probably helps.
well, yeah, absolutely. And she did quite a lot of brand building herself before, but she's actually quite a very talented designer. Yeah, she's doing a great job. And I like styles and individualism. I don't necessarily go and say, okay, because it's Armani or because it's Vivienne Westwood, then I like it. That's not me. I tend to be very much about wanting to be out and
bespoke rather than
yeah. Exactly.
Do you sort of think the British fashion business is as good as everywhere else? Because I mean, it's a bit like people always going about food. They say, "Oh, France is the home of food." That's rubbish. England is the home of food.
Yeah.
If you go to other countries, try their food, still come back to English food. And England has a lot to offer. Do you think the same with fashion? Or
I do think it's got a lot to offer, but I do think that you can't categorise like that.
No?
It's about individuals. It's about talent of individual designers. It's not stereotyping a nation or saying because it's French it's got to be great because French women always look so brilliant and polished, or Italian because Italian women always look really stylish. It's yes, you get a sense of a culture within designs that come out of a certain country. They reflect the culture of that country in some ways, but it's more about individual talent.
would you like to design some stuff yourself?
Yes, I would actually, but I don't think I'm good enough.
Probably everybody says that when they start out, though. I think I'm a bit of a man for fate and the right place, the right time. A lot of musicians I have on the show, a lot of people I have on the show, they all say I was in the right place. I got very lucky. I was in the right place, the right time. Yeah. And it all happened to go together. I'm an average musician, and I got lucky, or an average whatever, got lucky.
I agree with you, Terry. I think that fate does have a part to play there, and there is luck of the draw.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned obviously about your link with Helen Meisner and her folk stock, and obviously your links with North Harts College. I mean, are you looking to sort of go there and obviously perhaps nurture a couple of people from the college, or would that be your aim?
Potentially, yes. As I said, it's at the moment it's still in very early stages, but I've got a meeting set up where we're going to start brainstorming some ideas. The college are really enthusiastic about it because obviously it gives the students an opportunity to do things. That the college is quite switched into not just local organisations but also national organisations. They've got links into places like the Royal Opera House, for example, where they've been doing fashion design for some of the costumes of the Royal Opera House. So they're quite well connected in that way, and it's a marvellous opportunity for the kids to get a chance to work in different environments and to get that work experience to help them. Yeah,
it's great to showcase their talents. I know some of the people at the university, at the college, and they've got away from this business where they weren't switched on to commercialism. And I think that they have to teach one of my sort of old bugbears was that they didn't teach children in the commercialism of the business. They taught them, this is how you do this.
Yeah.
But then they left college. I remember leaving college when I was 17, and I thought they really, what do I do now, sort of thing. And it was an interesting time, and I think they're much more switched on now with that, and it's it's quite good, and it's great. I mean, like local people who know what they're talking about, so they never invite me to actually go in and sort of help the children. I think children,
Students,
young adults.
Yeah.
I get in trouble for that one. But they're also you've just done a fashion show a little while ago, and they helped you with that.
The fashion shoot. That's right.
Fashion shoot.
They actually helped me with providing me with students from the hair and makeup salon, or hair and beauty salon that they've got there, which actually operates on a commercial basis as well. They provided their own photographer and studio, which was fantastic. And some of the drama students were working with me, were the models for the fashion shoot as well. So again, it's a great way of getting involved with the different faculties within, I suppose faculties is a university term, but the different departments within the college, and working with the different kids and giving them that exposure, and also using their energy to bring something like that on.
I mean, your website sort of does the younger end of the market.
Yeah.
Do you think that's where your best thing is, or would you like to expand to the older end of the market?
That's something I've been toying with even in the short time that I've had the business, because my original plan was I wanted to raise the demographic. So I wanted to actually get away from that younger end of the market and pitch my products at older groups of women, probably women that I could relate to more as to what they were looking for in terms of fashion because of my own age, which I'm not going to give away.
21.
Yeah,
again.
But I suppose to a degree, this is about economic climate, and although we hear a lot about the high youth unemployment at the moment, it's the kids who are going out, and it's the kids who are going out clubbing or going out with friends. They will find ways of getting a new outfit to wear, and they're the kids who want that, have got that energy and want the change. People who maybe got a mortgage or family, they'll maybe be more price sensitive. Not that the market, my products are that expensive, but they will maybe be more price sensitive, and they'll also pick and choose on their buying decisions, or may take longer to make a buying decision, where the kids are more like, I want it now.
Yeah, I need it for Saturday.
Exactly, yeah.
I have a teenage niece. In fact, I have two teenage. I have a 22-year-old niece and a 15-year-old niece.
Right.
She'll soon be 16, and yes, they want everything yesterday, if not, and not the day before. They'll buy it on a Friday for wearing on Saturday, and it's just. I think that's part of their sort of thing, how it is instantaneous.
I think you're absolutely right, and that kind of leads into why I think that there's an awful lot of future in e-commerce and in online retail, because while I love shopping on the high street and I love browsing the shops and so on, and you might find something you can like, but if you can sit at your laptop, your tablet or your iPhone and just sit there and browse through a number of different sites and make your choice online there, and then press the button, put it in the cart, and order it there and then, it satisfies that must have it now need. All right, you've got to wait for the postman, but you've got so many companies that promise delivery within 24 hours. I mean, we do next day UK delivery. It's giving people that almost instant gratification, but with a much wider choice than you might get if you just went to the high street. And with the, a lot of my concept on why the high street isn't working and why e-commerce will carry on growing is people's lifestyle have changed. You get an awful lot of people are travelling longer distances, a longer commute to work these days, and working longer hours, more antisocial hours as well. And you don't always get a chance to go down to the shops, either at the end of the day, lunchtime or whatever. A lot of people work out of town; they don't even get a chance to wander through the shops at lunchtime. And again, combine that with the want it now culture. I think you've got to satisfy people's needs.
Yeah, I think the high street. I mean, also if he's chucking down with rain and you think, oh, do I really need to go into town? Whereas e-commerce, you can. It doesn't matter if it's raining, snowing, blowing a gale as it has been of early part of the year.
Yeah.
It's I like the e-retailing. I think is the way forward myself. As many people may know, I have an e-magazine, and it really is the way forward because it can. Have you had any sort of clients from overseas yet?
Yeah, we have. Amazingly, we have people in Australia making inquiries and buying shoes from the website.
Okay.
Which I find quite interesting, particularly with the cost of sending shoes, the postage that they need to pay on those. We've had customers from America, different parts of Europe. So yeah, I mean, I have to say that is a small part of the business. Most of the business is UK based. Yeah,
but that's still. I mean, this goes to show. I mean, if you had a shop in the middle of town, the chance of you getting a customer from Australia or a customer from America or from Europe, unless they wandered into the shop, is zero.
Yeah.
I mean, the great thing about the internet. I mean, the internet gets a lot of bad press.
It does.
But for every bad thing, there is so much good stuff on the internet, and I think people need to get that in their mind. I must admit, I use the internet a huge amount, and I think the usage is going to get more and more and more. And so the likes of yourself, it's going to multiply your business. It's great. I mean, as I've discussed before, I have readers of my magazine in Australia. I have some in Alaska. I have some in America, which would never ever happen any other way.
No, so you're just selling print copy in the news.
Yeah, just leaving. It just wouldn't happen. Yeah. So I mean, I think the world is open to everybody. I think over the last sort of 40 years, I think it's also with as you mentioned, the travelling.
Yeah.
I think people travel themselves more. Physically. I mean, fly and. When I was a young lad, which was quite a long while ago, a trip to Spain was an absolute adventure. But now a trip to New Zealand or a trip to America is, not these children. It's fairly commonplace.
Absolutely.
This is Seclo Sounds, and you can listen to us by clicking Listen Live on our homepage at seclosounds.org for a choice of players. Via TuneIn Radio at www.tunein.com, search for Seclo Sounds and listen online or download the TuneIn app. You can download the Seclo Sounds iPhone app from the iTunes App Store, and you can listen to us on demand at our replay page.
Zoo time, is she a new time? The mammals are your favorite time. You burning water tonight. Heartbeat, increasing heartbeat. You hear the thunder of stampeding rhinos, elephants and turkey tigers. This town ain't big enough for the both of us. Tell me who's gonna leave. You
You're listening to the Sticks Radio Show with Terry Sullivan on Seclo Sounds, broadcasting from the old rectory in Milton Keynes across the world.
All around me are familiar faces, worn out places, worn out faces, frightened to live for their daily races, going nowhere, going nowhere. Their tears are filling up their glasses, no expression, no expression. Have my head, I want to drown my sorrow, no tomorrow, no tomorrow. And I find it kind of funny, I find it kind of sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. I find it hard to tell you, cause I find it hard to take. When people run in circles, it's a very, very mad world. Mad world. Mad world. Mad world. Children waiting for the day they feel good. Happy birthday, happy birthday. To feel the way that every child should. Sit and listen, sit and listen. Went to school and I was very nervous. No one knew me, no one knew me. Hello teacher, tell me what's my lesson. Look right through me, look right through me. And I find it kind of funny, I find it kind of sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. I find it hard to tell you, cause I find it hard to take. When people run in circles, it's a very, very mad world. Mad world. Mad And I find it kind of funny, I find it kind of sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. I find it hard to tell you, cause I find it hard to take. When people run in circles, it's a very, very mad world. Mad world. A large young world. Mad world.
There we are, that's two in a row. First we heard Sparks and This Town Ain't Big Enough for the Both of Us. And just now we heard Tears for Fears and what the sort of world I live in, it's Mad World. Now let's rejoin Carol for the final part of today's show. So you're linked with you're obviously linking with the music business.
Yeah.
Are you looking to sort of link up with any more bands, or is it just...
Yeah, potentially, but I'm going to see how this one goes first.
See how that one goes.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it's a great idea, and I've certainly got, through my contact through Rhythms, I've obviously got other people that that I can talk to about whether they'd be interested in singing
wearing your brands, which is great. I mean, it's great exposure for yourself, great exposure for themselves, because I mean, there's nothing worse than going to see a band and they look scruffy.
Yeah.
I've seen a few of them around. And a lot of them are very well known bands, so perhaps we won't go into that one. I mean, your business is in its infancy as such in the last couple of years, and before that it was going. So it's been going about 4 years, 2 years under your helm.
No, it's been going. I've only had it since July last year.
So it's about just about a year, just under a year. But it was been going for what, a couple of years before?
It was going for a year and a half before that, yeah.
So it's about 3.5 years on.
Yeah.
So where would you, sort of 3 years, so that's 3 years, so where would you like to be in 3 years' time or 4 years' time?
I'd like, obviously, to build the business up so the brand builds up. You look at the success stories in terms of online retail and the fashion side of things, and you look at companies like, you may not even have heard of them if you're not buying women's fashion though.
I try not to. I try not to. I leave my wife to do that, and I try and avoid wearing ladies' fashion. It's not good for me.
But companies like Misguided and ASOS, and you look at and Net-a-Porter, and you look at the success they've had, and that's been through obviously sheer hard work and building that brand up. And I'd like to be able to think that Want Her Dress is going to get onto a similar level. Maybe not 3 years' time, maybe more like 5-7 years' time, but certainly I've got that drive and determination that I want to see it get to that level. Yeah.
Have you got any sort of tips you'd like to share with anybody? Fashion tips or?
I think that not really a fashion tip, just that, as I said to you before, I think you've got to have dreams and you've got to have a passion, and you run your own business and you've got to have a real passion for what you're trying to do and what you're trying to achieve, and you've got to have goals in mind, set yourself goals, and those goals could be as sort of as far-flung as you like. I mean, me trying to build the business up to something that's the equivalent of ASOS or Net-a-Porter, then have small steps underneath that to help you get to those goals. Don't try and just have a wild dream that, yeah, it's great to have a dream in mind, but you have to have a stepping stone.
Yeah, I think you have to. I think some people get a bit adventurous, and they sort of set this goal at the end of the year. I want to have 5 times my turnover, and they're disappointed when they've only got twice their turnover. Whereas they sort of said, I want twice my turnover, and then twice that again, and twice that again. Yeah. I think some people, they do that, and then it sort of disillusions them a little bit, which I think is not a good thing.
No, you're absolutely right. You have to have a reality check in it. And I hate to sound like the accountant coming back in me as well, but you've also got to make a profit, and you've got to be able to turn cash within that as well.
Indeed.
And certainly within the digital world, it's very easy to burn cash very quickly. One thing you've got to have is cash there to invest in marketing and promoting the business. You can't just rely on word of mouth with the internet. You don't get up the Google rankings simply by hoping that someone's going to type in Want Her Dress and it's all going to go good. You've got an awful lot of work to do using digital marketing agencies, building a brand, and also paying for advertising to help support get that brand known, so it's in people's faces, and it becomes known in their browsers and maybe favourites in their browsers, or it's just their first point of call when they're going out looking for something new to wear on Saturday, on Friday afternoon.
I think some people actually try and be a little bit too clever with the name, and if they're too clever with the name, people think, oh, they remember it. They won't. I think you have to be very obvious sometimes. Yeah. I mean, Want Her Dress. It's a pretty obvious what you're actually doing. I mean, obviously not doing men's fashion. No, it's a shame. It's a lot of men who'd love. I think men are struggling finding clothes.
I have thought about doing men's clothes, but I think that maybe we'll leave that for a few years before we start going in that.
So I won't be buying any trousers or anything from you for a little while. No, I can do some new ones that you probably can tell. But I personally have trouble finding men's clothes to fit me because I'm of a small build, and I had trouble finding clothes to fit. The normal high street, I find I have issues sometimes, and I think that's thing. I mean, the average sort of lady size is now 16. Is that correct?
Yeah, it may well be when you take the entire demographic out.
But the younger age is younger, smaller.
The products I'm selling, while you sort of tend to be in the 8 to 14 range, I am doing some larger sizes as well, because the survey that we did last year proved that people are looking for different sizes as well, larger sizes, and that plus sizes are being required.
And you're looking at me when you're saying that. I'm like, hey, whoa. No, I know. I only admit to having had too many lunches over the years. Now we're almost out of time, Carol. Well, let's just go through how people can contact you.
Yeah. Obviously, www.wantherdress.com, or equally email me at carol@wantherdress.com. And those are the best ways of getting hold of me.
Get hold of you. Are you on Twitter?
We're on Twitter at Want Her Dress. And we're on Facebook, Want Her Dress, and those are the main social
ways of getting hold of you. And you order. If you order today,
today, then you'll get it tomorrow, providing you order by lunchtime.
By lunchtime, so even Friday to Saturday.
Yeah,
that is amazing. Well, thank you very much for your time today, Carol. It's been interesting because I know nothing about fashion. Anybody who knows me knows nothing. I know nothing about fashion whatsoever. Absolute pleasure to have you on today.
Yeah, it's lovely to be on the show, Terry. Thank you.
Seklo Sounds is the community radio station for Milton Keynes, producing a variety of programmes covering music, health, business, sports, faith, the arts, entertainment and much more. For more information about our programmes, visit the programme and schedule pages of our website, seklosounds.org, as well as our replay page to hear what these programmes have to offer.
What switch can I pull to illuminate the way?
the best travel locations around the globe, book your seat for the John Gwynn Travel Show on Seclo Sounds every Monday at 12 noon. Hear the latest advice and recommendations to help you achieve maximum enjoyment and value from your trip, no matter where you want to go or what you want to do. Also, check out John's travel report as he reveals the things that the travel industry could do better. The John Gwynn Travel Show, Mondays at 12 noon on Seclo Sounds. Check it out before you check in.
I fell into a cinema, watching pictures in a dream, shifting the fidget into steel. 9 other people took their leave. No humping bones, all filigree. Grace and nature mimicry all but took me to my knees. Slow can be, half-eaten words of earth and sea. I didn't feel it touching me. I didn't know where else to be, sitting out a trip or 3. I thought I wanted frippery. That girl 5 seats down and me, concave and blinking at the same, rolling credits on a screen.
There we are. That was 2 in a row from the lovely Alison Moyet. First we heard the 80s hit Love Resurrection, and then a track from her new album, or recent album, called Minutes. That was Filigree. Almost out of time for today. Big thank you to my guest today, Carol Hanson from Want That Dress. What a very enthusiastic lady she is about fashion and about what she wants out of her business. Next week on the show I have 2 guests. My first guest is going to be none other than Kate Robbins, local girl. She's done just about everything, and she's currently touring with the Grumpy Old Women. And also on the show next week I have a a gentleman called Tony Stockwell, who is one of the three mediums. He's a medium. He'll be talking about sort of mediumship and lots of other things about his tour at the moment. As always, I've been Terry Sullivan. This has been the Sticks Radio Show. Until next week, it's bye for now. And I leave you with the Blow Monkeys and Diggin Your Scene.
Got your message, baby. So sad to see you fade away. What in the world is this feeling? Catch your breath and leave me reeling. It'll get you in the end, it's God's revenge. Oh, I know I should come clean, but I prefer to deceive. Every day I walk alone and pray the God won't see me. I know it's wrong, I know it's wrong. Tell me why. Is it I'm digging your scene? I know I'll put you in a home to fill in. Oh, but I wouldn't call that living. I'm like a boy among men. I'm like a permanent friend. Your message, baby. So sad to see you fade away. I'm like a boy among men. I'm like a permanent friend. I'd like to think that I was just myself again. Now tell me why. Is it I'm digging your scene? I know I'm digging your
MK Pulse proudly sponsors Seclo Sounds. MK Pulse is Milton Keynes' local magazine, bringing helpful information on food, health, fashion, money, travel, culture, and much more to 66,000 readers every month. Plus news, views, and what's on from around the city. If it's happening in Milton Keynes, it's in MK Pulse, and it's available online at www.mkpulse.co.uk. MK Pulse and Seclo Sounds, the heart and soul of the city.